we listen to that one small voice? Can we listen? Listen to your heart. Can we listen to that one small voice? Listen to your heart, to your heart, to your heart. It's a journey. It begins with a step in times of uncertainty. Wisdom comes from within, clarity. You know we're not alone or lost. Listen to your heart and to God, to your heart. Can we listen to that one small voice? Can we listen? Listen to your heart. Can we listen? Yeah, to that one small voice. Listen to your heart, to your heart, to your heart. Faith like oil takes the friction out of life. Take the action. Pray every night, aligned with spirit. Well, you know the reason why. And listen to your heart and to God, to your heart. Can we listen to the one small voice? Can we listen? Listen to your heart. Can we listen to the one small voice? Listen to your heart, to your heart, to your heart. God is gonna guide you. God is gonna guide you. Love will always find you. Love will always find you. God will always guide you. God will always guide you. Love is on the side you. Love is on the side you. Can we listen to that one small voice? Can we listen? Listen to your heart. Can we listen to that one small voice? Listen to your heart. Oh my God, to your heart. Can we listen to that one small voice? Can we listen? Listen to your heart. Can we listen? Yeah, to that one small voice. Listen to your heart, to your heart, to your heart. One time. Can we listen to the one small voice? Can we listen? Listen to your heart. Can we listen to the one small voice? Listen to your heart, to your heart, to your heart.
Hello, dear ones, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving, prospering community in the heart of Capitol Hill and online. And while we would love to be seeing you face-to-face on Sundays, we still do need to remain online for just a bit longer. We'll keep you informed on updates about returning to in-person services via our newsletter. If you're receiving our newsletter, thanks. If you're not, hey, why not head on over to our website, csldenver.org, and sign up for the newsletter. We only send one message a week, so we promise not to flood your inbox. And with all that's going on in the world, we know that things can sometimes feel very overwhelming. Here at CSL Denver, we want you to know that we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available to pray with you. Our names and phone numbers are on our website, csldenver.org, or you can send a prayer request to the email info@csldenver.org. And we want you to know, Reverend Elzia, our guest speakers, all of our practitioners, our music and service coordinators, want you to know how truly grateful we are for the online support that you continue to show this community. Thank you for watching our Sunday services, attending our online workshops and events, and for providing the financial support necessary to keep our virtual doors open. We love you all and know that we will be seeing you again in the right and perfect time. And that time might be coming up real soon. First opportunity, today, immediately following service, we'll be doing our normal virtual Zoom fellowship. Now, we were going to have a workshop with Practitioner Alice Nutter today. That's been postponed, and we'll get you a new date on when that's going to happen real soon here. So today, we'll be back in our Zoom room with our virtual fellowship. If you're new to the community or don't remember where your Zoom link is, hey, send a quick email, info@csl.denver.org. Mention you need today's Zoom link, and we'll make sure you get that in time for the Zoom fellowship right after service. And, you know, we have been missing each other so very, very much. And with things starting to reemerge, we're going to have a picnic. Yes, a picnic. The whole idea is to get together and use our social distancing skills to connect and have a chance to be with each other. We're calling it the CSL Denver Annual Picnic. So mark your calendars for Saturday, June 12th. We'll start about 10 a.m., probably run till 1 p.m. or so. It's going to be in City Park. Bring food, water, a blanket, anything else you might want to enjoy yourself. Make yourself comfortable. We'll be meeting on the south side of Farrow Lake. There's paddle boat rentals, bicycle rentals, and other fun things to do. And we'll spend an afternoon together getting to reacquaint ourselves with each other. All right. And again, remember, we've had to postpone Alice's workshop today, so we'll do that again real soon. And with that, I think it's time that we get started with more music.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu es l'image de Dieu. I hold you in my heart. Tu es l'image de l'amour. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu sei la luce di Dio. I hold you in my heart. Tu sei il volto dell'amore. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. You are the face of God, the face of God. I hold you in my heart, you in my heart. You are a part of me, a part of me. You are the face of God, the face of God. You are the face of God. Eres la luz de Dios. I hold you in my heart. Eres la cara del amor. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. 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 The face of God. You are the face of God. L'image de Dieu. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. You are the.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa Cardenas. I'm a practitioner at CSL Denver. It's so nice to see all you faces of God this morning. Now is our time for our invocation, so if you feel comfortable, just close your eyes and center yourself. And we just become aware that we are a congregation and a community that is so drenched in spirit, that we are supported and backed by spirit in all that we do. And we know that this morning, as our service unfolds, that we just give divine blessing to the practitioners, Robert and his message, Diego in the background doing the engineering, and just know that as this message goes out into the community, it has a healing force, a healing power. And as we recognize that power this morning, we know that it is being celebrated all over this planet, all over the world, and that it is done so in so many diverse ways, and we honor that. Whether it's in a temple, a mosque, out in a field just lying in nature, a church, whatever it is, we know that that power is being celebrated and honored right now. And so we move into the flow this morning, recognizing the power of spirit, that one power. And as Robert reminds us, we have access to that power. We know that we are one with that power. And we just say, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. And our reading this morning is from the book, The Power of Your Spirit by Sonia Choquette. There is only one way to succeed in connecting with your spirit, and that is to make it the most important thing in your life, because it's the endless source of supply for all your needs on all levels. This practice should become as automatic as brushing your teeth or taking a shower. You must anchor spirit in your life through daily, repetitive techniques such as breath awareness, meditation, setting your intention, expressing gratitude, and most of all, surrendering to the flow of life. Just as plugging a computer into an electrical source gives it the power it needs to run, you must also plug in to divine source regularly so that your heart remains fully charged. Remember that even though you might be sophisticated and clever, and perhaps are full of ideas and creative expression, you don't generate your own power. No one does. You need to tap into a greater power source in order to function at optimal levels. Whether or not you believe or accept it, you depend on a greater source for your life force other than your limited ego mind. That power also doesn't come from other people through seeking their approval, as you probably have been taught in the past. It's no wonder that people distrust, feel threatened by, and fight with each other. Those who are disconnected from spirit often tend to manipulate and control others to feed off of their energy in order to sustain themselves. This is achieved through intimidation, guilt, shame, flattery, bullying, and whatever else the ego resorts to. However, authentic power comes from the divine creator, who loves everyone unconditionally. This is our gift from spirit. When we realize this and begin to plug into this true source of ceaseless power, we can heal all sense of unworthiness and separation. And Ernest Holmes reminds us of this when he says, the more power one gives to his thought, the more completely he believes that his thought has power, and the more power it will have. And now back to Freddy with the music, One Power.
One power, one power, one power.
Yeah, hold on a second. We can't quite go there just yet. I'm Reverend Robert, and this is a little different than maybe what we normally experience here. So thank you, CSL Denver, for entertaining me for just a moment. But that song, One Power, what we're going to listen to, and we're going to listen to the version by Daniel Namod, actually, in a brand new video that's been created specifically for you and for today's experience. But what I want to do first is I want to make sure that we have a very basic basis on which to base our conversation today. And that is part of the Centers for Spiritual Living global vision. And in that we say, we envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. Now that's a big statement. It continues, a world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. So in that, I would invite you today, as we listen to One Power by Daniel Namod, to listen into this version and use this as our guiding principle as we maybe hear these lyrics just a little bit differently. Enjoy.
One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. The different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe,
It's music, Mother Earth, oh Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. Oh, it's the power of the love in you and me. One power. Oh, one power. One power is what we are. One power. One power. Oh, one power. One power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. It's one power. What we are is one power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
If that does not move you, you are not alive. And therefore, I call for healing. And throughout the day, you're going to hear me call for healings. You're going to hear me call for healing in several areas today. CSL Denver, it is so good to be with you again. I so enjoy the opportunities I get to be here because of the perfection that this community continues to bring forward. And Teresa, that prayer and reading are exactly what today is all about. And thank you for that. And Freddy, the music, can we listen? Again, everything can fit together. And when I was offered the opportunity to speak today, I was offered the suggestion that we're taking a little veer off of the track that a lot of other communities are on. And you know that we often talk about there's an annual theme in CSL, and we're taking a little detour today. And I was asked to speak on this topic specifically. And I thought, yes, I've been waiting for this opportunity for quite some time because this is a really cool subject, one power. And we have this iconic piece of music by Daniel Nahman. He originated something that is, if there is a top 10 hit, if there is a number one hit in the New Thought music genre, what other than One Power? And that is also, now we need another song, I believe sometimes, One Source. Because the power is, yes, it is everywhere. And we're going to talk a lot today about how we use that power. Not just that it exists. And the power is part of that one source. Out of that power, everything emerges. So out of that one power, that one source, there is the one family, as we started today, that one family, one human family that honors and respects our kinship, our connection. And it is through that honoring, that respect, that life prospers. And it is through that prospering that we are open to the divine guidance and wisdom and experience. And here's the second part you're going to hear a lot about today. Wisdom and experience, the consciousness and the action. Wisdom and experience. are to me the same as our consciousness and inspired action, and neither are complete without the other. Neither are complete without the other. So how do we use this power? How do we use this power for good? Because I believe if you're in this room or listening to this recording at another time or here with us live, I believe that in that regard, you already innately know that you have a divine calling to fulfill on this planet, that you have something to give, something to share, and a way to show up like none other. I know that truth for and of you. I know that is your absolute truth. So what we have to do is we have to get to that place where what we believe and what we know allows us to move our hands and our feet in a way that does benefit planet Earth. Many of us know what this is. Now, you're going to hear me, as I said, call for a healing today, because there is an illness that is rampant across the entire, well, I can't say across the entire planet, because I don't really get much information on what's happening in India, Europe, and other places. But I know this is happening in America. And it's 2 words. And unfortunately, you and maybe not you, but maybe some that you know have experienced this illness at one time or another. Maybe some of you have healed from this illness, as many of us have. It's called spiritual bypass. And so I want to define that. A spiritual bypass, or spiritual bypassing, is a tendency to use spiritual ideas and practices to sidestep or avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, physical wounds, and unfinished developmental tasks. And I would add to that an unwillingness to consider the real life experience, the lived experience of what's going on in our planet, in our world. Far too often, and you have heard it, it is said that it's all good, or my work is done in consciousness and consciousness alone. Or, if it really doesn't impact me, who am I to do or to say anything? Well, I would suggest that if it's happening to one of us, it is happening to all of us, because we are one human family, and we are here to honor and respect the kinship of that life. And if I do not stand up for those that are oppressed in front of me, then will I even stand up for myself? We are being called as a human evolution to stop looking the other way and start using the tools and the principles by which we live to change the world in which we live. That is part of this global vision, revealing a world that works for everyone. Now, I believe it's actually, there's an easy way to remember this. There's an easy equation to remember what we've got to do. I like to say it's as easy as pie. Prayer plus inspired action equals evolved experience, or evolving experience. We are looking to bring forth something new. So yes, when the things in our lives hit us, when things show up that we don't like, when things are like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't like that. Ooh, that makes me feel uncomfortable. That's the place where, yes, we have to lean into our prayer work. Lean into the prayer work. And if you're having trouble in that first place, if you're not sure what that is, reach out to a practitioner. info@csldenver.org. Reach out to a practitioner and get the team praying on your behalf. Connect with a practitioner for a counseling, for a session. And explore what you're doing. And the prayer is going to lead you to something, some inspired action. You must take that action. There is no question. Every spiritual leader, every guru, everything in the world says we have to also take action in the world. Somewhere along the line in Science of Mind and a lot of New Thought circles, a lot of people seem to feel a little too comfortable resting in the concept that if I just do my healing in my consciousness, then the world will revolve around that. That's a much, much longer process. and much then it can work, much riskier, much longer process than going out and helping people. Our theme quote across the movement this week is Howard Thurman. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go and do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. What makes you come alive? And in some regards, I would even suggest what makes you just a little bit uncomfortable. Because where society's need meets your great discomfort will point to your work in the world just as easily as that which you believe makes your heart sing now. Howard Thurman also said, do not be silent. There is no limit to the power that may be released through you. Through you. See, we never know, folks. We never know when our words, when your actions, when something you share is going to touch just the right person in just the right way to make them say, oh, hey, now I'm awakening to something new. Now I feel called to something new. Practitioners know this deeply because they get to experience it all the time. It comes out of the blue. Somebody drops a comment or sends an email or leaves a phone message or reaches you by phone and says, I know you may not know this, but 6 months ago you did a prayer and it moved me. Or last week, the prayer you did moved me. I invite you to let yourself be moved to the place where your great gift and the world's great need and that place in you that feels a bit uncomfortable about the situation and the experiences and the circumstances of the world right now. And let that be the place where you can give of yourself. See, life is a both and proposition. Those that have known me over time or have heard me speak, you often hear, this works its way in almost every conversation. Life is a both and proposition. We have to be in that place of saying, this is what I see as truth, and there are still opportunities for healing. There are still opportunities where those that out there don't see the truth or recognize the truth or aren't operating according to the truth. So we have this one power. We all get to use it. I asked earlier, how are we going to use it? How do you want to use it? And what I know is there are people out there right now that are misusing it, to be frank. People that misuse these laws, that misuse this power. Electricity is the greatest example. Bob Proctor said it best. You can use electricity to cook a man's dinner or to cook the man. I don't really approve of that. And so let's not go down the road, but let's just use electricity to cook, maybe drive our cars. Let's use electricity to drive our cars. Let's do that. Point, I think you know where I'm going. We stand at choice. You stand at choice in every moment to say, am I going to bury my head in the sand to what's going on around me, or am I going to use the technology I know, prayer? Am I going to lean into the people that I know for support, for help in prayer, in consciousness? So that, yes, we have to change our consciousness, and it leads to new actions. It leads to new ways of being in the world. And I'm not the only guy saying this kind of stuff. Brene Brown says it really well too. And she speaks to where we're moving, right? To the future of this already. We will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal, other than we normalized greed, inequity, exhaustion, depletion, extraction, disconnection, confusion, rage, hoarding, hate, and lack. There's our prayer request. We should not long to return, my friends. We are being given the opportunity to stitch a new garment, one that fits all of humanity and nature. Now, that list that Brene provides us there, those are all the seeming experiences of life, right? Those are the things that it feels like are coming at us. And what a practitioner is here to do, what prayer is here to do, is not to change anybody, not to send a vibration of healing across the planet and make everybody whole and make everybody awakened all at one time. No. The power of prayer is in helping me to change my own mind, to recognize within myself there is a divine revelation that is upon us, as my life and as the lives of each and every one of around us. And that together we are emerging into something we have never experienced before. Together. But it's going to take all of us. Your gifts, your skills, your talents are absolutely vital to this journey that we are upon. I want to also share and reiterate the words that Teresa shared with us this morning from Sonia Choquette. Those who are disconnected from spirit often tend to manipulate and control others to feed off of their energy in order to sustain themselves. We see that. We are seeing, if you hang out on Facebook at least, and I hang out in some pretty conscious groups that still see a lot of this, people that are feeling fear, that are disconnected. This is achieved through imitation, guilt, shame, flattery, bullying, whatever else the ego resorts to. However, authentic power, the one power, comes from the divine creator who loves everyone unconditionally. That is what we are here to do. Love everyone unconditionally. When we realize this and begin to plug into this true source of ceaseless power, we shall heal all sense of unworthiness and separation. I call for a healing. I call for everyone that hears these words to say, yes, I will stand in consciousness for a healing of humanity's sense of separation, of humanity's fear of what has gone before us or what's coming in front of us. I call for a healing in consciousness so that we may create the new, the next. And I tell you, folks, I love how spirit works, because last night in all of the creation of this talk, everything leads me to one point. Everything leads me to one quote. And it's a quote I have shared with you not only prior to this day, not only have I shared it with you at least once, I've probably shared it with you, and I think I might share this quote with you every time I speak with you. Possibly because the first time I saw it, it was hanging on a banner on the wall of your church down in 5 Points. Perhaps because every time Spirit says, this is truly what this community is about. It is probable that the next Buddha will not take the form of an individual. The next Buddha may take the form of a community practicing understanding and loving kindness, a community practicing mindful living. This may be the most important thing we can do for the survival of the earth. I believe that is you. I believe that is the power, the essence of this community. And in that, I have a challenge for you. I have an invitation for you. I invite you to look at that Howard Thurman quote from that place of considering, where is it that the world's great need meets my great discomfort? Because that is your healing. Because where you see the discomfort, where you see something wrong, where you see something that just ain't right, that is your healing. And you must begin that healing in prayer. Yes. But I implore you to not let it end there. Take that healing into your life, into your world, into your workplace, into your communities. We know it's here in the church. Take it into every other avenue, every other aspect of your life as we begin to reemerge from this cocoon of transformation. We must take this consciousness with us. We can no longer hide our consciousness under a barrel. We can no longer sit in the silence and say, I'm just going to do my prayer work and know in consciousness and watch everything else change. It is a spiritually immature perspective. Mature spirituality says we do the work too. We are God's hands. We are God's hearts. You are God's hands and God's hearts and God's voice. And I am honored to be with you. Let's pray. Let's move into that place of consciousness. If you're feeling safe and close your eyes, I invite you to be part of a movement. Be envisioning a wave of consciousness moving forward as collectively we recognize the one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence that moves and breathes and has its being as all of life. Not just my life, not just the lives of those I agree with, not just those in my family, but all of life. Creepy crawly creatures, winged creatures, feathered creatures, furry creatures, hairy creatures, human creatures, alien creatures, whatever form of life we may recognize, beyond even that, there is God. There is the one. And so what I know is we each express that oneness in our own unique, divine, and a magnificent way. Sometimes ways that are confusing to my experience, sometimes ways that don't make sense to me, and yet I know each one is expressing the wholeness that is God's life in some divine aspect. And while I cannot be everything God is, I know God is everything I am. And if that's true of my life, then it must be true of all life. So it must be true of your life. Everyone that hears these words must be a divine expression of God. Everyone that never hears these words must be a divine expression of the one. And I call and I claim for each that hears these words that deep sense of that sacred inner yes. That yes, to be the consciousness and the hands of God, to be the both and of prayer and inspired action. For what we know and what I believe is that we come to a new way of expressing the love, the light, the beauty, the truth, the magnificence, the happiness, the wellness, the everything that is God's life. We come to a greater expression of that as we come to this place of knowing that it is all God, that we can't get beyond it. That if there was a power for good in the world, the power for good and the power for evil would have long ago clashed, and this would have been settled long before we got here. So I cast all of those disbeliefs aside. There is no evil in the mind of God. There is this expression of oneness. There is none of those conditions that we may experience in the human mind, and they're only here as long as we choose to believe in them. So I send a chance to send in consciousness to say, this is something that no longer works. This is where my prayer work is, to heal this belief in my mind and then do the work that is necessary to support others in healing that, in that same healing. We do not heal ourselves in a vacuum. We call for the healing. We heal through our own experience and then serve everyone around us in their experience, in their love, in their bringing more to the world. I'm thrilled to overflowing to be a part of this thing called life. Thrilled to be in spiritual community with each and every one that hears these words, that hang out here at Center for Spiritual Living Denver or anywhere online. All the wondrous ways God bubbles up as your life. We celebrate that. We honor that. We come into that place of deep respect for that experience. And let go of the attacks, let go of the accusations, let go of the arguments and the warrior mentality and the fighting, and we come to harmony. We come to peace. It's been said that peace is the experience of knowing the divine in the midst of what is happening all around us. And it is coming in through that knowing, that consciousness, that we must take that inspired action. And we do, with love, with light. I claim this for each. I affirm this for each. I know there is a great wondrous power at work, bringing forth a world that works for all. I celebrate that and invite you to join me in the affirmation, in the celebration of that. From a grateful heart, we release this word into the law that must demonstrate and collectively say together, and so it is. And so it is. Thank you, dear ones. Thank you so much for being with us here today. And on behalf of the Center for Spiritual Living, I also want to say a very, very special thank you from Reverend Elzia. He's doing a little travel and helping his son move from one apartment to another at college. And so it's great to be today. You all asked me to be here with you today. And a big part of that, and the reason that we can continue to do this, is because of your gracious and abundant financial contributions. There's links in the show notes. I believe we might see there it is. There's a great system. Use the text to give. It's easy. It's simple. Couple of steps. Boom, 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 and you're done. It's even easier than the website. However, if you would still like to sign out a check, you can do that. Send that to the P.O. box as well. Please know, every dollar goes a long, long way to ensuring that this community moves forward and fulfills this vision, this mighty mission of yours to be a space, a face, and a place where love shows up in the heart of Denver and in the experience that is Denver, Colorado. So again, thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your giving. Give generously and give often. And we're going to see you again real soon. I think Teresa's going to come back and give us a couple of announcements, and I'm going to slip out of here, I believe. Teresa, you come back. There we are.
Thank you, Robert. Great message.
Thank you.
Okay, the announcements. Here at CSL Denver, we want you to know that we are here for you, to celebrate or hold space for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for prayer work with you. We love to pray with you for celebrations or challenges. Our names and phone numbers are on our website at csldenver.org, or if you have a prayer request, please email it to info@csldenver.org. As mentioned at the beginning of the service, the Moving from Drama to Empowerment workshop has had to be postponed, and we'll keep you up to date on the next new date and time. So in lieu of the workshop, we are having our usual virtual fellowship this morning. We would love to see you. If you did not receive the Zoom invitation earlier this morning, please send an email to info@csldenver.org and mention fellowship, and we'll get it right over to you. We've been missing everyone so much. We've decided to try to do an in-person get-together, social distancing, of course. So please mark your calendars for Saturday, June 12th. We plan to meet at City Park from about 10 to 1 on the south side of Farrell Lake. This is our annual picnic. Bring your own meal and water, a chair or blanket, or anything else that makes you comfortable, and plan to catch up with each other and have a good time. This is our time to play. We are celebrating getting back together and being in person in ways that are comfortable and safe. A reminder that over at New Thought Media Network, they are offering a Science of Mind and Spirit lecture series on the Science of Mind textbook. Please check them out on their YouTube page. Reverends Elzia and Robert are some of the lecturers for that series. This happens on Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. What a wonderful way to revisit or get to know the Science of Mind textbook. New Thought Media Network also has a lot of other programs by different practitioners and ministers. Check them out on Facebook and YouTube. Meanwhile, we hope you have a wonderful week and affirm right here, right now, that 2021 is blessed and perfect in all that it is. We love you and miss you. Please take care of yourselves, and we'll close out with some beautiful music from Freddy. Thank you.
There is just one mind, there is just one God, there is just one Spirit, together we are strong. There is just one heart, there is just one song, there is just one mighty power, together we are strong. Let's put our hearts together and let's be as one. This life we have is
mind. There is just one God. There is just one Spirit. Together we are strong. There is just one heart. There is just one song. There is just one mighty power. Together we are strong. Let's put our minds together. Let's write a song. Let's put away our own mishaps and sing as one. Sing as one. And sing as one. There is just one mind. There is just one God. There is just one Spirit. Together we are strong. There is just one heart. There is just one song. There is just one mighty power. Together we are strong. And we'll sing as one. We will dance as one. There is just one mind. There is just one God. There is just one Spirit. Together we are strong. There is just one heart. There is just one song. There